Being a money-saving shopper takes a little time, okay? Is that all right? See if that's okay. Okay, I'm going to count to 5. Bye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most important of all is planning, making a list around the grocery store specials and sticking to that list. And above all, be sure not to shop on an empty stomach. You'll find you'll buy several items you don't need just because you're hungry. With today's high beef prices, chickens and turkeys are an especially good buy. One turkey can yield several meals. The larger the bird, the lower the cost per serving. And of course, you save on chicken by buying whole chickens and cutting them up yourself. Vegetable and fruit purchases are difficult to be specific about because prices can vary widely from week to week and from store to store. But it's a good thing to keep in mind when you buy fresh produce at the supermarket. Okay, I'll have to take that last paragraph over. Vegetable and fruit purchases are difficult to be specific about because prices can vary widely from week to week and from store to store. But it's good to keep in mind that when you buy fresh produce in the supermarket, prepackaged fruits and vegetables almost always cost less than loose ones. About eggs. There's no nutritional difference between grade A and grade B eggs. Large eggs tend to be more abundant and lower in cost in the spring. Medium, a better buy in the fall. If the difference in price is 7 cents or more, you'll save on the medium size. Single-serving boxes of cereal cost 3 times as much as the economy size, and when you buy pre-sweetened cereals, you pay more. The price goes sky high when you buy cereals flavored with brown sugar, raisins, dried fruits, and other flavorings. It's cheaper to add your own. For hot cereals, the difference between instant and quick cooking is about 5 minutes and about 50 cents a pound in cost. Other staples like coffee, sugar, and flour should always be bought in economical large sizes. You get more for your money. And here are some other savings ideas to keep in mind. A frozen dinner can cost up to 65% more than one prepared at home. Mixed pancakes cost about 20% more than scratch. Cake mixes about 74% more than cakes from scratch. Being a money saving, I'll take that last paragraph over. Here are some other savings ideas to keep in mind. A frozen dinner can cost up to 65% more than one prepared at home. Mixed pancakes cost about 20% more than scratch. And cake mixes about 74% more than cakes from scratch.
Who was dead?
Oh, that's 100 feet, Billy.
In the budget. But even more distressing is a report that Mr. Carter apparently believes that his new anti-inflation package will bring political benefits far outweighing any damage he might suffer because of a higher jobless rate. In other words, he's willing to sacrifice the jobs of perhaps 1 million Americans for his own political gain. Whether balancing the budget would actually throw people out of work is doubtful at best, but Jimmy Carter's callous unconcern about those who potentially could lose their jobs is a sad comment on where Mr. Carter's interests apparently lie. Carter economics is simply the economics of the past. The new reality for the 1980s is that we can fight inflation by increasing the number of jobs in America. Unlike Jimmy, I'm committed to doing just that by supporting policies to dramatically boost our nation's economic growth. Americans deserve to know that they don't have to suffer any longer with his economics of despair. End of statement. No questions? Well, I know that this has been largely loyal to the Democratic Party. I would like to change that because I think we have more to offer to the minority communities in America than the Democrats have. They've offered a lot of rhetoric. I think we can offer performance. And I think the difference is that the Democratic Party for years, I've said this repeatedly, and here in your state, has, I believe, insulted and demeaned members of the minority community by thinking the only way to approach them, solicit their vote, is by bigger and bigger handouts. And I don't think that's what they want. And I think we have what they want, and that is that we should speak to them the same as we speak to any other voters, that we're trying to offer opportunity, dignity for the individual, the right of every American to get ahead, and I think our party can do that. And if we can get that message to them, I think that perhaps they'll find that they belong with us. I don't know whether I even go as far as he goes, because it's a first step toward controls. And I know there are many people today who are frightened by this new 18 or 19% inflation rate that we're into, that see that as an answer. I don't even see it as a last resort. I see it as something that will only worsen the situation. The plain truth is, if we'll only look at the past, look at history, even our own modern history, when we had patriotism and war fervor going for us. And I've said many times, Domitian tried them as the emperor of Rome, and he used capital punishment to enforce them, and they didn't work.
Say some of the other candidates running against you?
Is the John Connolly getting out of the race?
With him out of the race now, do you believe that will assist your campaign, say, more than the others running against you?
I'd be inclined to think that we were probably talking to the people with similar views, and just as we've heard here from Fred Jones, I think that probably we could expect a majority of them to come to us.
Governor,
About a cabinet or any appointees of any kind, I think it's far too early. I just think I might be jinxing myself if I started talking that way. There's a long
Long war. We're vitally concerned today about our veterans in the hospital. We don't have space. We're seeing the downtrodden in that area.
Oh, I'm afraid to use that word. I've been using a word to those so long that those press, the press that is here with us and travels with us, they know, they've already written it down what I'm going to say. Let me say I am cautiously optimistic.
Governor Reagan, how do you feel concerning the
You obviously have some feelings about it. Do you think he ought to get in or not?
Well, no one's ever asked me whether he ought to get in. I have just said that he's welcome. If this is what he wants to do, hang up the golf clubs and come on in. There's plenty of room here. Now, I've had plenty of competition so far, and if he wants to stay out, that would be just fine with me, too.
What do you think? Ought to get in the last?
What?
Do you think he should get in?
What?
Do you think he should get in? That's what Lou's question was.
Well, as I've said, that's a decision that he has to make for himself. I have no right to say whether anyone can or can't. I would just tell you that I'd probably be just as happy as I am now if he didn't.
The question wasn't can or can't, though, Governor. It was should or shouldn't.
What's that?
It was should or shouldn't, not can or can't. You think he should get in the race?
Well, I don't think I have the right to say that about any candidate.
What do you feel, then?
What?
What do you feel?
I've told you what I feel.
You don't feel anything?
What? Well, I'll tell you, I just don't think that I should go any farther than I've gone. I was disturbed by one of the reasons that he gave publicly that I thought could lead to divisiveness, and that I have been fighting against in our party for a great many years.
Which reason was that?
That it would be necessary in order to stop me.
Parties stand to come out on the short end of this. Several independent truckers like Bill Calloway, 2 contracting firms, and of course you, the taxpayer, who funds the Corps of Engineers. Reporting from Baldwin County, I'm Herb Williams, TV 10 News Beat. In 3, 2. If the if the information we've gathered so far is correct, it appears that several. Okay. If the information we've gathered so far is correct, it appears that several parties stand to come out on the short end of this. Several independent truckers like Bill Calloway, 2 contracting firms, and of course you, the taxpayer, who funds the Corps of Engineers. I'm Herb Williams, TV 10 Newsbeat. In 3, 2. If the information we've gathered so far is correct, it appears that several parties stand to come out on the short end of this. Several independent truckers like Bill Calloway, 2 contracting firms, and of course you, the taxpayer, who funds the Corps of Engineers. Reporting from Baldwin County, I'm Herb Williams, TV 10 Newsbeat. Okay. In 3, 2. Ready? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If the information we've gathered so far is correct, it appears that several parties stand to lose. If the information... Right here? No, that's okay. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Some shady deals in Baldwin County start up. Some shady deals in Baldwin County may end up costing you, the taxpayer. I'm Herb Williams, and that story is next on Newsbeat. Some shady deals in Baldwin County may end up costing you, the taxpayer. I'm Herb Williams, and that story is next on Newsbeat.
Some shady deals in Baldwin County may end up costing you, the taxpayer. I'm Margaret Allen. That story is next on Newsbeat.
Okay, roll it out.
Probably the most common form of solicitation is the telephone. Groups are calling us wanting to... Let's see, let me start all over.
Fix the light still.
Okay, now you gotta hold still with it, baby. Hold it up higher. Is that light okay? Or do you, if it'll be better, Jackie can hold it.
Let her hold it, because I think she's getting tired of it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hold. Well, it...
Roll it.
Probably the most common form of solicitation is the telephone. All kinds of groups are calling us, wanting us to give money for this purpose or that, but we're at a disadvantage. We can't see who's asking for our money, and we only have this unseen person's word that they are who they say they are. Okay, one more time. You want to keep it rolling?
Yeah, we can let her roll.
Daddy, did you like the way I did it that time?
You're doing great, doll. Probably the most common form of solicitation is the telephone. Groups... Just keep it. Probably the most common form of solicitation is the telephone. All types of groups are calling us, wanting us to give money for this purpose or that, but we're at a disadvantage. We can't see who's asking for our money, and we only have this unseen person's word that they are who they say they are. Okay?
I just cut out that August place 1970.
Try to just where they can read this. Organizations which do not meet. Try to where they can read that. If you can, that would be good. Oh, Jennifer, you've got to watch it now. You can't have the light moving around on that.